day for it?
Hey, nobody likes one day. You gotta.
God, that stuff. This is wow.
Yeah.
Never read on that.
Yeah.
Nothing like a
What's
bunch of
good?
kidding, man.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Oh God.
There's a doctor
just
somewhere
two.
doing it.
What is good, everybody? It's your boy Pat the Designer
Or
back
Miami
at
Sapper.
it again. Joined by the squad in the building. We got the pettiest man alive, Mr. P Kid. Stefan Adon in the building. The super producer trying to figure out what's going on with his mic. On today's episode, Dan Orlovsky believes that Justin Fields could possibly be an MVP candidate this season. Huh? Also got to talk about what we saw from the Bears at rookie minicamp and how excited people are about Roschon Johnson. I mean, listen, they're loving the kid's leadership skills. I'm excited about it as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the date is 5/8/2023. And Stefan Adon said Monday is a good day for a little bit of, you know.
Just two.
The off-camera stuff is always the most wild. Like, I wish.
Booger sugar.
Hey, bro. No, it wasn't even Booger Sugar. Booger Sugar, I feel like I could have dealt with. It was the fact that it was like he went straight to crack. It was like, oh, God.
What? You started it like I did.
Nobody knows that part. Hey, man, appreciate you guys for tuning in to Show of Love. As always, man, hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Y'all out here blowing up all these other channels, man. I need y'all to do me a favor. Go ahead and
come on. Push the button.
Come on.
Push the button.
You might as well.
Come on, push the button.
You got nothing else going on.
Yeah, come on, push the button.
You're just sitting here watching us.
You heard what she said.
You heard what Sue Young said. Push the button. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily.
We gotta get the Bow Wow clip where you go like this. Just push the
Just had that mug on that mug.
Like he been holding on to that move for like 30 years, bro.
Hey, what's good, boys? How y'all feeling, man?
Man, feeling good, feeling great.
Long day, but we here. I'm ready to get it.
Hey, long day for sure. Got the Chicago Bears podcast there. Now coming over here to break down some more Bears talk. I love it. Appreciate you guys for showing love. Here's the thing, man. Dan Orlovsky, in support of Justin Fields, he went on Get Up to this morning and said that he believes that the Chicago Bears could have an MVP candidate this season in Justin Fields, that he believes that Justin Fields is going to take not a Jalen Hurts type leap, but more of a Josh Allen type leap, which kind of fits Justin a little bit more, in my opinion, if I'm being realistically honest. Like he's more of a Josh Allen build, more of a Josh Allen. Like Jalen Hurts, was he like 6'1"?
Hey, 6'1", but he's
6'1" on a good day. Yeah, if he's having a tall day, you know what I'm saying? So I think that he's more of a Josh Allen type. I think that they've gotten him weapons very similar to what Josh Allen went out and got. So I could see that a little bit more. But, right, like that Josh Allen leap is what he's talking about. Boys, question on the table. Do you think that Justin Fields could be a 2023 MVP? Let's start with candidate. Let's at least go to candidate out here.
I hate Steve-O. Prepared to be
Steve-O in the
off,
chat. Prepare to get pissed at P Kid on this topic.
I'll let Kid go.
Why I gotta go first now?
We want to know your opinions. We want to know your opinions.
I think that's too much pressure. I think that's too much pressure for the kid. I'm gonna be honest with you. I want him to succeed, but to make the leap from, hey, he could be a decent QB or good QB to MVP candidate is a monstrous leap. Now, I like the fact that the national media is showing some light and showing some love to Chicago. I really do. It's been a while since we've been able to say this and really feel positive about it throughout the season, throughout the city, rather, right? But let's be honest, man. Like that's a huge leap to go from where we were to that. By the way, MVP candidate, who were the candidates for last year? What, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts,
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
Josh Allen.
Yep.
Josh Allen. Was he really there? Was Josh Allen really a candidate?
Josh Allen was in there pretty much up until the end. Josh kind of
Allen
lost
was
it at
there.
the end of the season, but for the most part, he was in there. I think the thing the thing to me, right, is that you have to also take into account what the Chicago Bears season is going to be. Realistically, right, when you're talking about an MVP season, you have to ask yourself, first off, do you think Justin Fields is going to go from 175 passing yards a game to 310? I don't believe that. I think that he'll be around 220, 230 passing yards a game. He'll probably get to a point where he's probably about 50 to 60 rushing yards a game, which still is a little too much for my blood, if I'm being 100% honest. That's a lot of freaking rushing yards, but I think that that's kind of right the range where we'll end up see him being, because I think there still will be some need for his legs, some need for some rushing ability on this team. But realistically, right, if you're big on Justin Fields possibly being an MVP candidate, you're talking about him being around Lamar Jackson range. Lamar Jackson, his MVP season, had 3,100 passing yards. Now, he still had 1,200 rushing yards. I hope we're not there, but he had 3,100 passing yards, 36 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. Only 7 of those touchdowns were rushing touchdowns. So basically 29 passing touchdowns, 6 interceptions. And he did that in 15 games. Had a heck of a season. I'm not begrudging the statement that he can win MVP, but it has to be tied to something very important. Lamar Jackson only lost 2 games that season.
Talk to me.
Wins is what we need to be looking at, what we need to be talking about. If you believe that this Bears team is going to win 14 games this season, then yes, Justin Fields can be an MVP. But I will tell you this right now. Justin Fields will not be an MVP candidate with 7 to 9 wins. 10-win season, okay, he's on the cusp. A 10-win season, I could see him being on the cusp. Unless he's coming out right and he's finishing games like we have a 7-win season, but he's throwing like 350 yards a game and adding another 50 rushing yards. Like, you're talking about astronomical numbers at that point.
The funny thing is, and Steph gives me so much like flack for this, because I use and I hate on Lamar Jackson so much in his opinion.
You do be hating on Lamar.
Hey, listen, I felt like
he also got his bag. He also got his bag. He also got his bag.
He got his bag. It wasn't what he wanted, but he got his bag, right? It wasn't what was reported either, but he got his bag. It was kind of closer to what they already offered him, but he got his bag. Anyway,
he got his bag.
Without the agent, but you know.
Hey, listen, without the agent, sure. I bet you won't try that again, though. Anyway, here's the thing, and here's why I say Lamar Jackson, I bring him up a lot with Justin Fields. It's because Justin Fields is not thrown for that many yards. So who's the closest MVP of the last 4 or 5 years that didn't throw for a whole lot of yards, but actually got to that point and got to that precipice where they won MVP? It's Lamar Jackson.
We actually broke this down. There's 2 that really have done it. Both Lamar Jackson did it, and then Steve McNair in 2003 had 3,200 passing yards.
Like, let's be real here.
Yeah.
If we look at the MVPs
also
of the last
a lot of wins.
A lot of wins. If you look at the MVPs of the last 5-6 years, most of them threw for way more yards.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, you got to really understand. I'm really comparing them to the only person who's done it the way that I can envision him doing it, using his legs as much, because I still think that that's going to be there, and being able to throw maybe 200 to 250 yards a game. Lamar Jackson MVP season, he threw for 208 yards a game.
Basically,
on average.
That's what it breaks down to, 208 yards a game on average.
Come
Here's
on,
the thing,
I
though. Here's the thing I will say, though, and I'll get Ringo's opinion on this. Do we expect Justin Fields to be the player he was last season?
No, we expect
the type of quarterback that he was last season.
No,
you gotta ask me that like a couple games in. I don't know.
No, but you can see that on paper though. Yeah. I mean, you can see that on paper with the weapons that they brought in. We already know that Khalil Herbert is a capable backup. everybody's been raving about Roshan Johnson since he's came to camp. The one thing that Pat did say is that when Roshan was at Texas, they said that he wasn't Bijan's running back. He went with Bijan, which is something that I feel like we got to take into account. I think that Kid is absolutely right in the stuff that he says about comparing him close to Lamar Jackson's season. But the one thing that I feel like Justin won't have, the reason why like he won't get MVP, but I feel like he'll be a candidate, is the legs element, because the running back system will be so much better with Roshan Johnson and Khalil Herbert that he won't actually need to do that. Yeah, which I think that's my biggest point to it.
Right. And that's really my view on this. And by the way, 52 people in here, 13 likes. Hit that like button, man. Let's get 52 likes on this video right now. Hit that button for us, man. Appreciate you guys for showing love. Here's my realistic thoughts on this. I don't want Justin Fields to be anything like the quarterback that we saw last season. I don't want Justin Fields to be anything like the quarterback that we saw last season, realistically, because the quarterback that we saw last season was not the Justin Fields that we drafted. The hope is that with a better offensive line to protect, as we're welcoming in the super producer Joel Holt into the building.
Hey, fellas.
By the way, shout out to him.
Joe, what's going on, man?
Hey, boys, how's it going?
Hey, why Joe looked like he realized his lips was ashy when he first got on and immediately threw some Vaseline on. He jumped up in it. Right, like it felt like he was like, oh, my mic's messed up. Hey, baby, can you go get me the Vaseline real quick?
I feel like Pat is like trying to push this chapstick sponsorship that you signed up.
Brought to you by the super producer Joel Holt.
Actually, no, I got
if your lips are wrong,
my sweetie pie just came home. She just came home. That's all that was.
You can take that so many different ways on this channel, Joe. Don't do that to yourself.
You're the girl who makes me feel so good.
With friends like you, who needs enemies?
Hey, man. But no, I think that realistically, right? Like when you're talking about what you want to see from Justin Fields coming into this season, you want to see the Justin Fields that we saw in college. You want to see the guy that was dropping back, able to deliver the football, able to deliver deep shots. That's why you go out and you get Tyler Scott. Hopefully, Velus Jones is able to have a bounce back season. We'll see what that ends up being. That's why you have Darnell Mooney for the underneath. That's why you have Cole Kmet for the underneath. Hopefully, seeing him be able to take those underneath routes more often as well. And then now you got DJ Moore to be your number one option at the wide receiver position, along with Chase Claypool to give you a big body. He has options. I need to see a passer this season. I should not see Justin Fields with the Smush Parker Kobe mentality of you not getting the ball because you suck.
Hey, Pat,
I was looking this up. Can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could.
I was looking this up. So based off what everybody's talking about, this leap, Josh Allen had 4,500 yards passing.
Yeah,
and that's in the third year.
At number 3 season, yeah.
Right, and then Jalen Hurts having his third year last year, he was about 3,500 yards passing. So whatever we're expecting to see, I think to your point, this is the most balanced receiving core I think we've ever had for a Bears offense, and him learning this system in the second year, we should see a good year. And the fact that he could single-handedly probably win 3 to 4 games himself, I'm not going to sit there and say MVP, but he's definitely going to make himself he's a formidable quarterback this year.
I think the thing that's missing out of everybody that you just mentioned, right? It's like me, because me and Pat agree on this. Lamar Jackson. I mean, J.K. Dobbins is cool. Didn't really have a backup, so they had to utilize Lamar. Josh Allen run game.
Josh Allen's got a nice run game. Yeah. He's got a few options. He's got a few options.
Josh Allen is a run game.
Right, he is a run game, and he's got options to run. Yeah, I mean,
Jalen Hurts. I mean, Miles Sanders was cool, but I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, he had over 10 plus rushing touchdowns by himself.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I said, like I think that they sleep on this running back duo, and Justin can really make that a trio.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, we got so many running backs in the backfield. It really is a trio right now.
Legit is crazy. And this is not me hating on Justin. I think that he's going to have a phenomenal season, but I mean, I think that the legs element is going to be missed, but those are good things because later on you see all of those quarterbacks, right? I mean, even Jalen, he got hurt in the Bears game. Josh Allen hurt his elbow. Lamar Jackson, Kia like bringing this up. He missed like what was it, eight games in like 2 seasons. So I mean, it's like he won't really need to use his legs.
The funny thing about that is, right, everybody always talks about.
I was just giving you a.
Everyone always talks about. Everybody always talks about Lamar getting hurt as if Lamar got hurt running. Lamar got hurt in the pocket every time.
Yeah.
like he got landed on in the pocket every time. Hey, pocket.
If that's what you want to call my thing. That's always been my thing. Okay, where you got hurt? You ain't available.
Air it out.
But
yeah,
I
hold
say
on,
air it out.
You know what?
You got some
the difference. But see, the whole point is that are they scheming around this guy's talent? It's not so much that we need him to stay in the pocket. It's will they design better rollout plays? The game we saw against the Patriots last year, I think, is kind of what we're going to see. That type of offense, hopefully with a better defense, that's the kind of balanced, dangerous offense that we probably could have. So, when I look at what Lamar Jackson and them did, he's a limited passer. Yeah. But they schemed something for his skill set. Josh Allen, now that's a guy that made himself better because I honestly would have wrote him off.
They helped him.
Helped
him a lot.
He came in.
Brian Dable.
Listen, he came in with a 58% completion percentage coming out of college. That barometer for so many years was very indicative of how good a quarterback was going to be when they got to the pros. So you had to at least be 60% to completion. So like for him to come out, it was like, he's not going to even pan out. And he willed himself to be a much better quarterback. But they also had limited options. Like we have way better options for Justin Fields than I've seen in a long time.
I got to add this to it though. One, we have to understand that this is not just on Justin and his ability to throw. It's also what the game plan is and how coach goes about really, what he implements in this scheme for this year. No matter what we say, if the game plan is to have be a run first offense or to have a dominant run game, those type of QBs don't get those nods, no matter how good they are, because you will always say that your run game carried them. In this sense, I look at some of the people that we've compared him to with some of the people we're hoping that he can be, make that leap with. And I look at the attempts. If the game plan doesn't call for Justin to throw that much, then he's not going to be in these conversations simply because he's not going to have the opportunity. You look at Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts took 460 attempts last season to be in that conversation to get 3,700 yards. Justin took 318. You look at Josh Allen, who I think is, again, the best comparison, same size, similar build, kind of runs, uses his wheels. That man threw for nearly 600 attempts, 567 attempps. He completed more passes than Justin attempted. But they're a pass first offense, right? They have a run game, but they're a pass first offense. You even you're looking at Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers even did that. The only person I can really compare him to who even got close, who won MVP and had close to the same amount of attempts, was Lamar Jackson. And look at what you said. Look at the game plan. Did they scheme around him and stuff like that? But even still, let's be honest.
Still had a lot of passing touchdowns too.
He had a lot of passing touchdowns.
He had a lot of passes. He still had 29 passing touchdowns.
Short passes though, like really close. Like we don't give.
I mean, he gets him into. He has some deep shots too, but he does more times than not use his legs to get you in a position. Which is
very situational.
Here's the thing, though.
And I just hope that Dan. Go ahead.
It's what you want from your quarterback, right? Like, here's the thing: we can't sit here and say I don't want my quarterback to run it all anymore, because realistically, that's how Patrick Mahomes is a 2-time Super Bowl champ right now. Because if he doesn't make that run for 15, 18 yards on the sideline, it might have been 13, whatever it is, right? Like if he doesn't make that run at that point, they don't win the Super Bowl. We're sitting here talking about the Philadelphia Eagles winning another Super Bowl, or winning the Super Bowl. But winning another one. They did win one under Was it
Thanks.
Arthur Smith is the owner there, I think, or the GM there?
No,
One of them?
that's Arthur Smith.
Arthur, or is that Atlanta? Is that Atlanta? I feel like
Blank,
that's Atlanta.
Arthur Blank is the owner of
I
Atlanta.
do have to show love to Don Burr because he came in full effect. And this is the one thing I will say. Don Burr is absolutely correct about this. Justin Fields has to be better than Jared Goff. Justin Fields hasn't had the opportunity to be better
Justin
than
Fields
Jared
just
Goff.
got to win more than Jared Goff. We've looked at quarterbacks in a season and said he's not better than him, but we'll say he did more to win the game. That's realistically all it would have to do.
Jared Goff
Goff is-
completed 65% of his passes last season, and he had over 500 attempts, which he completed 65% of.
Well,
They had a winning record.
And
They had a winning
but
record.
the thing
That was
is,
the
too,
defense, though. I don't defend Detroit for anything. Like, I hate Detroit. Detroit is trash. It's a municipality. It's not a city. And y'all know this.
Wait, I'm listening to the press conference not too long ago, and
Yeah.
Don Burr's on there, and they're like,
bro,
going
they hate Don
in
Burr.
on
Hey,
Don-
they hate Don Burr. Don Burr.
I gotta
Don
meet
Burr-
this guy. He's like
Don
Don
came
Burr,
in-
you suck. Get
Hey,
out of here, Don Burr.
Hey, Don came in last year one day with Don Burr 2.0, and I was like, why are you in here with this burner account? And he was like, they blocked me on everything else. So he made another one. I love him. He's a guy level troll.
But
He's
why
a
is
guy
he?
level troll.
But does he live in Chicago?
No, he's in Detroit. He's
why
from
does he
Detroit.
troll Bears fans?
I don't know. I love it though. Here's what I
But
will
he's
say,
not
though.
wrong though. He's not wrong though.
Here's what I will say though. Scheme doesn't always lead to production, right? The opportunity for something to happen doesn't mean that that's how the play is going to the outcome of the play is going to be. What I mean is this. Lou Getsy said this in a press conference yesterday. A third of Justin Fields' runs last season were designed pass plays that broke down. That's 53 plays. 53 plays last season were designed pass plays that broke down, and Justin had to turn that into something. This season, that means 53 possible more attempts, or excuse me, even more possibly, right? If you have his second year in the system, second year in this offense, you feel a lot better about him actually delivering the football, right? But that means that out of 160 rush attempts last year, Justin Fields could have passed 53 more times. That's opportunities to gain those yards, get those passing attempts. Now you're talking about him having 365 passing attempts. That's a normal season for a quarterback.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now we're talking about an actual quarterback season. So I think the point that I'm making is the Justin Fields we want to see coming into this year, it should be nothing like the Justin Fields last year, but it's also based on the opportunity that the players afford him. This season, I think that he'll have more opportunity to stand back there and actually play the quarterback position, because while I don't know the health of everybody on paper right now, Braxton Jones, Cody Whitehair, Tevin Jenkins, Nate Davis, and Darnell Wright looks a heck of a lot better than seeing Larry Borum at 3 spots on the depth chart.
Yeah.
Little old Michael Schofield out here, Mr. Riley Reef out here. You know what I mean? Like you had hope.
No, the reality was it was a wait and see approach. This wasn't. They figured, let's see what we have. Maybe we're an 8-8 type of team. We'll see what Fields is about. What pieces do we have to barter and trade with? So to me, they got about halfway through the season. They saw what was going on. Okay, I know who we can build around. We have at least identified at least 5 to 10 people, and then we can build from there.
Yeah,
I think the biggest thing about that though is I mean like this, like halfway through last season and this entire offseason, like Paul just stayed the course. I mean, he even said it in the exit meeting, like, yo, like Justin already showed with his legs, that he's like the elite of the elite. Like, if he would have played the last game, he probably would have broke Lamar Jackson's.
He would have broke Lamar's record, probably.
He
by running for his life.
Yeah, he would have broken by running. He would
Get out
have
there.
broken by running for his life. He was like, yo, now we got to actually sit here and get this dude weapons. So now he's actually done that. So they're taking steps in the right direction.
Yeah.
Do I think that he could be the MVP? No. Could he be a candidate? Yeah.
I'm going to change my take.
If they win, who cares? I mean, that's all we want is consistent
Yeah.
I'm kind of that win.
Like
here's what I s-
Can I change
here-
something though?
here's what I'll say about it all. Right, if Chicago's winning, somebody's going to be in the MVP race.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter. Like it's Chicago. DeMar DeRozan was an MVP 2 seasons ago. right? For like half a season, we were like, could DeMar win the MVP? And me and Kid are like, are we asking this?
Like really?
Like, what are we doing right now?
I mean, but what's the point? The point is like we get to a point where we, first of all, for the first time in a long time, we have an offensive identity.
Am I gonna have to die? No,
that is kind of how it feels.
Like,
am I gonna have to die for the Bears to have an offense?
Right. So now you have
what's up, Hayes?
They have something set up on both sides of the field. We know the cover 2.
Yeah.
We know the Tampa 2 defense. Like we know that. Like we're familiar. Like we understand the under tackle, the nose tackle. We understand all of that stuff. And now to finally get a scheme, and then we got a quarterback in year 2 of this. Like what continuity have we had from the offensive side that we're able to at least be excited for? I mean,
excited is the key word. I was like, we had continuity. It just was terrible. It was terrible continuity. Matt Nagy was here long enough to implement his system.
I got to give more credit to Pat, and I know he probably did it because he was comparing the size and stature of the QBs. But if you really look at Josh Allen's career, it's a heck of a take because Josh Allen, year 2, 3,000 yards. They had a winning record, good team, good running. I think they had a good running core. I would say they did, but I mean that's me being outside in, and this is years ago. I don't really remember those games. But you look at year 3.
Run. I don't know if they had a core. They had a nice running. Who was they back that year?
They had Singletary, and they had
they had a nice core actually.
No, they had Singletary and they had Breida, I believe.
Singletary. No, they had Singletary, Breida, and who was the number one?
Frank Gore.
Oh, they had another guy.
Because didn't you? Well, I'm not trying to go down that rabbit hole, but
don't bring up Madden.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But the reason I'm bringing it up is, the reason I'm bringing that up is realistically is if you look at what changed for Josh Allen, he got a good receiver. The year he got Stephon Diggs, he has 100 more. He has 100 more attempts. Yeah. He cracks 4,500 yards. Before then, that's a 1,500 yard gap.
Yeah.
Right. So the fact that we got a good receiving core room for Justin now adds so much opportunity for him to take this leap. So now that I really look at it, and I probably, like again, Pat mentioned Josh Allen. I didn't necessarily hear Josh Allen's name come up in Dan Orlovsky's take, but to just relate it to someone of recent history with the new offensive line and receivers, this is actually possible. Like Josh Allen was a Pro Bowl. Now he didn't win MVP that year, but I mean, you got to think of it. He went 4,500 yards. He had a nice.
I'm happy with Pro Bowler.
Hey, listen. The reason he didn't win MVP that year is because I'm pretty sure Pat Mahomes threw 5,000 yards.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, a little technicality.
Competition. Really tough competition.
Can you imagine throwing 4,500 yards? What was it? It was like 36 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, or 8 interceptions, something like that, like something crazy. And you lose because some dude is out here with 5,000 passing yards.
Well,
this man had 4,500 yards, 37 touchdowns, 10 INTs, a completion rate of 69%. They won 13 games. It was 13-7. Nice. 13-3. This dude had a monster season. Didn't win MVP.
Yeah, well,
I mean, the thing is, I think he
with no tackles.
Yeah, I think he accounted for it with 6,000 total yards, I believe, or something close to it.
Who, Mahomes?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Mahomes.
He had 1,000 yards.
Again, now Mahomes comes into a situation, a number 1 team, established running game, Hall of Fame tight end, good offensive line, and they actually had a good defense at that time because they were basically playing the manager game with Alex Smith when he was there. And then, they were like, we could just basically hand this right off to him. Yeah. And so they've kind of are trying to build. This is a very balanced team that we're building right now.
Yes.
And it looks good. I don't know how strong our linebackers are, in terms of, Tremaine Edmonds and all them to see that those 3. But the cornerbacks, I'm excited about. This D line, we still got gaps on that, but this offense, 2 tight ends, 2 decent tight ends.
Yeah.
And if this line really holds, it's like, wow, it's actually going to be very scary. And I do. I don't want to pivot yet because I do wonder if we got a steal in this draft with.
Let's
pivot
pivot
real
Let's
quick. But I
pivot.
just got to make this because we got to put some respect on this man's name. I'm like you were right. Patrick Mahomes was doing the thing. 4,700 yards, 38 touchdowns, 6 INTs. My man was out. God dang.
He went nuts.
My man was
Hey,
going
listen,
nuts.
here's
I
the
think Patrick
tough
Mahomes
part.
hates Josh Allen for real.
Dog,
Like
here's-
it's like
here's-
every time Josh Allen has a good season, Patrick Mahomes is like, here's one for you.
Here's
That's like the older brother. He's like,
Yeah.
he's always doing better than me.
Here's the tough part about it, right? And it's not tough.
Not
It's
fair.
just that it's so quickly changing so many people's minds. You know how good you have to be to change somebody as old as Joel's mind? Josh Allen, I'm sorry, not Josh Allen. Patrick Mahomes is quickly becoming the greatest quarterback that we've ever seen.
He's on his
Bro,
way.
he has 192 touchdowns already.
He's on his way.
He's on his
Damn,
way.
I'm
He has
not saying he's
192
there.
touchdowns,
I'm
bro.
not saying that. I'm not saying that he's there yet. But I'll say this: we've never seen a start to a football career like this.
Yeah, but I'm saying this
Never.
Mahomes, if he doesn't get 7 championships, but he gets 5, is he better than Tom? Because we know
Yeah.
Tom didn't win all those championships by
You
himself.
don't need.
Well, see, here's the thing, though. It depends on the
to
second
get
half of the
4.
career, right? Because for Tom, the first half of the career was boom, boom. He comes in, he's
was a
winning,
manager.
and then there was a gap.
He was a manager for the
What was
first
that? Was
3.
it 10,
and
was
it
it
was
10
10
years
years. It was 10
between
seasons.
It was almost
championships?
10 years.
10
It
seasons.
was almost 10 years between championships, and then he comes back and he starts winning again,
But
winning
you know
again,
what?
right?
That's a good point. Now check it. He goes bananas
Yeah.
when he gets Randy Moss. That's also him mastering the offense that was probably tailored for him.
Yeah.
Because he was a manager. Dink and dunk, get it down the field, and then Adam
What in dunk
Vinatieri,
there?
Huh?
What in dunk?
dink and dunk.
Ah, okay.
Hey,
Am
I saying anything new?
Spell
Gotta be
that.
sure.
Spell
Dink.
that.
Yes, we're children, Joel. Laugh.
You guys are so
God.
mature. You're so
No,
mature.
we're not. We're
You're
not.
so
It's
mature.
okay.
Yeah. Anyways, dink and dunk down the field and then hand it off.
You had to get in the mic for that?
Huh?
You had to yell into the mic for that?
Forget it, guys. You guys suck. No, I just think that there was a maturation process of him being more of a game manager. And then by the time he really mastered him, when was it, 07, 08 when he got Randy Moss? So from 2000, so he really had it. I can't be sick of these guys. They're like my little brothers. You know.
Can I
have
just
little
say this though? He may have been legitimately he's like legitimately the Michael Jordan of football. If you really look at it, like if his career ended today, he's already in a GOAT conversation.
Yeah, but the thing with Michael Jordan was that was 10 years into his career. This is Pat Mahomes year 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Year one, he was in the AFC title game.
Yeah,
Right.
like year two, Larry Bird called him God in disguise.
Yeah, they didn't win.
Yeah,
Well, that was
they didn't
talent.
win.
You know,
Mike didn't have the talent around him.
Hey, he was God in disguise out the playoffs.
yeah, I'm just saying, like without a ring though, they already considered him one of the greatest that ever touched the ball. Like
He
that's
wasn't a
what
GOAT
I'm talking
though.
about.
He didn't become a GOAT till he won the three-peat. He had to stand above Magic and Larry. The point is, does Mahomes? It's very hard. Football's different because I don't like how they try
It's very different.
It's hard if the left tackle doesn't block for you, you're not getting anywhere. Like basketball, you can will yourself to win.
Check out. I've dropped this a couple of times. Check out Tom Waddle's breakdown. I believe it was on 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago? Last week. It was on last week. I want to say Thursday or Friday. Check out his breakdown of what it takes to complete a 5-yard pass.
I believe that.
A 5-yard pass. He said, he broke it down with teams that he's on, right? So he's like, well, if Harbaugh doesn't drop back.
Do it now. We totally get it, dog. You just said that so many times. It's your favorite clip. Like it's so much your favorite clip. I know what you're going to say.
Here's the thing. The reason it's my favorite clip is because, like, when people sit here and break down football and they sitting in these positions that we're sitting in here, and while listen, I'm all for everybody having an opinion. Some people sound stupid. A lot of people sound stupid.
They'll watch the games.
A lot of people sound. Listen, here's the thing. We watch the games, right? But we don't watch the games how they watch the games, right? So we're sitting there. We're like, you should be able to make that pass. We don't talk about the fact that the guard didn't pull.
Yeah.
We don't talk about the fact that the running back missed his block. We don't talk about the fact that the receiver didn't get off of the line quick enough. We don't talk about, right? Like there's so much that goes into 5 yards, and now you got to get 100.
Yep.
You got to get down the field. Hey, man, let's make some money out here, man. We got to pay some bills real quick. And then we got to get into, I do like that Joe brought up the shift. I said shift, S-H-I-F-T. I said shift. I like that he brought up the shift because I really believe that we might have a prospect who could be the steal of this draft, and it may not be the person that you're thinking of. But first, hold on. Let's put Kid full screen out here real quick. Kid always keeping that. You got the jacket on?
Yeah,
You ain't got the jacket on today? Oh, dang. He let us down.
It was
Kid
hot
always
today,
got
dog.
the pop on that mug. All right, hey,
hot.
listen. If you are a fan of any sports team, right? That's why you're here anyway. And you're looking for high quality merch to wear to watch the Bears and or Bulls. Goat Coat has you covered. Here's the thing about Goat Coat, though. It is stylish wear that is very concealing on the fandom. That's because they put the jersey inside of the bomber jacket, sewn into the bomber jacket. It is a perfect jacket if you want to go to a nice dinner before the game and or after the game, and maybe you don't want to be out there looking like the fanatic with the face paint and the full jersey and the bear claws on the hand. Keep the bear claws in you. Never mind. But anyway, if you are into your favorite teams and you want to show your support, make sure you show your support with Goat Coats, because Goat Coat is the only merch that is keeping it very stylish, very sleek, and very concealed for those interesting moments. Here's the thing. You can get any player on any team at any time into the jacket. And for a limited time, you can also get a discount with the promo code Windy City, or if you buy 2 or more items, you can get 15% off with the promo code Windy City 2. Make sure to be checking that out over at goatcoats.com. Check the description below for the link to the merch. Y'all stay safe out there. All right, boys.
Peace.
As we're keeping this thing moving along, a very interesting player has popped up as a leader in this rookie minicamp. Not only the fact that he's a leader, but also the fact that he's a really, really good player. Ringo brought his name up, talking about Roschon Johnson. The fact that he was not viewed as the backup to Bijan Robinson, who Joel said we should take 9th overall.
I mean, it was close. They got a Texas running back.
I got out.
In the 4th round.
No, now you got what you wanted. I
In the
got
4th
what I
round.
wanted.
Hey, we got
We both got what we wanted.
We got the best of both worlds. We got the best of both
I
worlds.
wanted a playmaker. I wanted that dynamic playmaker. He gives me like Larry Johnson vibes. Like he a big dude. Well, he's 6 feet.
Grandmama?
No, like Larry Johnson from Kansas. I'm old. Larry Johnson, Kansas City. Like them type of vibes.
Oh,
I'm like, he give you grandmama vibes? Like, what's going on here? You youngins, god dang it. No, but here's the thing, right? Roschon Johnson is quickly becoming a big name around the Chicago Bears organization. A lot of people love them. A lot of people are very big in what he's able to do. I have a very, very serious take on this guy. I believe that he'll be our starting running back by week 5. I think that he does everything that every other running back you have in that room does. I think that he is a really good runner. I think he's a good pass catcher out of the backfield. I think that he's a good blocker. Hey, Khalil Herbert, Deontay Foreman, Travis Homer.
He's just not I don't think he's a home run hitter though.
I mean, what was his 40 time?
He has to be
4 or 5.
He don't gotta be.
I think
they got Khalil.
Right. He can get you the big yards.
I like how we say 4 or 5, like 4 or 5 is slow.
I mean, when you got 4 2s and 4 3s showing up here.
Yeah, you got linebackers hitting 4-4. I mean, it makes a difference.
I think here's the thing. He's a hard style running back. He's a guy that's going to be in the backfield and be able to actually hold up with Justin Fields. I think that the fact that he's going to be able to pass block is going to be really instrumental to getting himself on the field. Mm-hmm. And I also believe that the fact that he has that leadership quality that's already being talked about. Like here's how they keep talking about him. They're like, Roshan's amazing. He's really taking the lead on this. He's making these things happen. He's doing this in the practice. Oh yeah, he can run the football too.
Why can't he start week 1? They got all mini camp. They got training camp. They got all that stuff.
This Larry Johnson's career, I have to go back and look at it. If he turns out to be like him, good job.
I think they're going to give Khalil the opportunity to win that job, right? Like I'm assuming Khalil heard all season he can't pass block. So the thing is, right, with Khalil's actual speed, if Khalil can come back and be a little bit better of a pass blocker, you would rather have the faster back in the back.
No, it's probably look, if we could create earth, wind, and fire, I would love that to protect Fields with a true running game like that. I mean, if we're looking at the blueprint is San Francisco and kind of Green Bay, where they had 3 running back monsters there, where now
one of your running backs is a wide receiver in San Francisco.
Dude, come on. Will you work with me? Jesus Christ. All I'm saying is
they were but before they got him,
they had Elijah Mitchell.
They had Elijah Mitchell, Price. Debo.
They had like 3 or 4 guys, and they kept just getting hurt.
He was a receiver though. Well, that's really,
I didn't even count
really
Debo.
what it was. That's really what it was. Dudes just kept getting hurt, and they was like, get another one off the practice squad.
They kept churning out. Like if you could have all of them healthy, they had a serious, nice running back room.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I mean, Roshan looks like
was a 4.58. He was a 4.58.
Yeah, I thought it was close.
Yeah, it's closer to 4.6.
I was leaning that way, but yes, that's what I'm saying. He could probably, and he might get faster because now he's a full-time athlete, So, but
I don't think people be going all out on those 40s. I don't use that as a barometer.
Right, because you know what, you're right. There's game speed versus being like pad speed, where you're clocked with in shorts versus playing in the game.
Because they always say you really don't know what people really got until it's time for pads. So,
well, who's didn't we get another? It was Tyler Scott, right? Where
he's the Bearcat.
His unofficial time is like 4.29, but his official time is like 4.32.
That's still fast.
Still
fast either way.
Still that.
Khalil Herbert was 4.5.
But see,
Khalil Herbert has increased his speed in the NFL.
Khalil Herbert got game speed.
Yeah, he's increased his speed.
But Johnson might be too. I mean, I'm excited. Look, I called it. I wanted a safety. We got my safety. I said I wanted my playmaker, and if Roshan ends up being that guy, I mean, I wanted Bijan. I really did, but it's all good. I'm happy to see where we are with this, and we can have a nice running back room. I mean, shout out to Poles, man. This is just some good drafting so far. Preseason, we're all kind of getting ready for the season.
Yeah,
but this looks good. In two years,
savviness of it. Look at the savviness of it. Like you said, you didn't get Bijan at 8, right? We didn't reach to get him that early, which was good because we needed protection. We got protection from Justin. Great. You didn't use one of your later picks to get someone in that same system and comparable to Bijan in so many ways. I mean, like, it's really savvy. Like, he hit on all cylinders, man. So I have to give him credit where credit is due, because that right there was amazing. Once I really did the research and understood who we got, leading off in that 4th, man, it's a masterclass in how to draft, and so I'm really enjoying it.
I thought he did it. Oh, go ahead, Ringo. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, because I think the whole night everybody was just talking about, like, oh, are they gonna make the sexy pick? Are they gonna make the sexy pick? I feel like he's literally done that with every single position, to the point where it's like, okay, y'all saying we need this, but I'm gonna go ahead and get like, he's not the same guy. He's just above that, just a little bit more slept on. And if we just develop him a little bit, like these guys can be not possibly top of the line guys, but people that can contribute. I love the interview last week with that Pat did last week on ESPN with Tommy.
Mm-hmm. Tommy Harris.
Tommy Harris, which was hilarious. By the way, he was talking about the 2-gap system and how some of these guys are gonna fit right in because they played that same thing they played that same system in college. So I think that absolutely He doesn't got the top of the line guys, but he's definitely got those slept on guys that definitely can contribute. Probably not day one, but can contribute later on down the season. Plus, if you get fired at Walmart,
I like
put that
Smitty's.
shirt on.
I like Smitty's point about Barry Sanders playing behind Thurman Thomas. There's tons of cases of guys that are they're just loaded with talent. And so if Roschon ends up being that guy, oh my goodness, to get us a starter. Well, this is nothing new that we've got.
We can find
running backs in the 4th and 5th round.
Are you telling me that we can find running backs, Joe?
I got my new. Come here, baby. You want to get on the show?
Let's
Look
at
that.
Grandbaby on the string. Come on, baby.
Oh, now you want to be shy? Come on. You want to go? Come here. That's all right. Don't worry about it.
She said, I don't know you, strange man.
So, to me,
Joel's old, by the way. I don't know if y'all knew that or not.
What was my point?
Grandbaby's on the street.
Talent, everything coming through.
No, you know, if I may do this,
You may not.
because I know we can only spend so much time. But thank you so much. But by the way, shout out to make sure that you all go look at the Tommy Harris interview over on the Chicago Bears podcast. Your boy Pat the Designer over there doing the big things. Yeah, voice of Chicago Bears right there, man. I love what my boy is doing right there, man. Pat the Designer. I love that little intro right there, right?
And now the third quarter, the first quarter through the fourth quarter stuff is cold. I ain't gonna lie. That's hard.
That was tough. I like it.
Look at it. Hey, listen, boys. Hey, listen. I know how to create sponsorship opportunities to sell.
Hey.
There you go. I want to address this real quick, if you all don't mind, because I know we're in the second half, and we're kind of already talking about it. There's a lot of smoke also about this that's been in recent media. Little rumors, Twitter. I've heard it online. I forgot exactly who the talking head was. Now this could be both a good comment or a bad comment.
Mm-hmm.
When you see this, how do you take it? And for those who can't see this, those who may be listening on a podcast form, this is a comment that says, "Passing on Carter told me everything I needed to know about polls."
Shout out Robert Diaz.
Shout out to Robert Diaz. And so, looking at that, how do you all feel about that?
Well, I've it was to me. It's been I share the same sentiments that I did when he first got drafted, because I legit turned over to you and said I feel like the reason why he didn't take him is because either he's seen somebody else which they feel like they have, or he's just totally not so, and it could be one of the two, but but like I said, that development aspect of it that I feel like Eberflus is going to bring to it is going to help them out. And I feel like even then, a shout out to the Eagles for getting him, because they feel like he's got some issues, and it's like I told you and Joe before when we were at the Hall of Justice. I told you they got the vets. They got the vets to go help them out.
And we all definitely look like some superheroes on here, because I'm definitely in the Batcave. He definitely looks like he can be Superman right there. Pat is absolutely the Flash over here, if you really look at it, like over there. And I think Stephon Adom might be what's my man, Green Lantern. I could see Stephon Adom being
Steph is the Underminer from The Incredibles.
Hey, hold on, bro. Hey, I don't like that though. Bro got like, all right.
We are the Underminer.
Okay.
We're here to dig out the.
For you. Okay. Whoa, he's here to do what? Okay. He's here to do what? What is he here to do, Joe?
Hold on, wait. We got to get this back on the rails here. Get this back on the rails here.
First of all,
hey, Joe.
Hey, bro, I only got 2 seconds to screen time, but what?
We got to roll this back. Oh God, we're so immature.
He's here to dig out what is going on. Jesus.
You called it the Underminer.
Yeah, the Incredibles, big children friendly show. Good Lord.
That's his name, man. What is going on?
That's his name. Hey, you know what, Joe? I gotta ask you this, because and this is, I know we joke a lot, but you've seen a lot more Chicago Bears football than we have,
old,
right? Experience. I like the crown of wisdom there. what did this tell you? Like normally, like we talked about this when we were at the Hall of Justice, your GM gets the best talent available. And for you, like you come from area where, hey, Bijan's the best athlete, you get Bijan, right? And there was a time where that's absolutely what you did. But seeing him break away from that norm, what does this tell you, and what impression did it leave upon
Well,
you?
remember we were sitting there, and it took him. I said he stayed disciplined. It was a disciplined pick, so you knew that for the most part, him taking he wanted to stay. He probably figured that he saw the talent that he could see in the later rounds. But I really think that Carter really had some immaturity, character issues, and I think that the whole point was they can't roll the dice on this guy to be the leader of this defense. This team is too young for him to be that guy, and no one's there. I believe that. So it made sense that the entire half of the Georgia defense is over there in Philly, and they can all corral him in. So I trusted that he was going to make the right pick and not necessarily let the emotion get inside of or getting too caught up with the player. So him getting the lineman, it's a solid pick. We figure hopefully he finds someone based off him drafting what he did last year. No one expected him to hit on at least 2 or 3 of those players, and he didn't even have a first-round pick. Yeah. So for him to get the safety, like I could trust that, okay, they might have a actually really good scouting department. Because I've seen we've lived through the Jerry Angelo drafts. I remember Mark Hatley drafts, but a lot of, again, from the top down, we have an offensive identity for you to fit this scheme versus just getting players. Now, the old way of like, okay, yeah, just draft Bijan, because that's what Atlanta just did. They got Bijan, and he's going to be the workhorse, and they're just going to run him right to the ground. Yeah. Is he really part of a system that's going to work for them, or they make a flash in the pan decision? They're building a team. What Poles is doing, I like it.
I think
Pat, I'm going to frame this a little different for you, if you don't mind. The reason why it's kind of up on this, and you're a lot more privy to these conversations. You get to see people that are closer to the situation. And yeah, there were a lot of former executives that were very critical of it. From your vantage point and what you can share, what's the overall feel of how he's going about it? And then obviously give your own comments on it if you can.
Whenever I see former execs weigh in on stuff, they form it for a reason. I need y'all to understand this. They don't. It doesn't mean that these guys are geniuses. Listen, there's a lot of guys that have gotten the job that the job was over their head. We've seen a lot of guys get jobs that they didn't deserve. In fact, that's most of the dudes that end up fired. All right, listen, Jim Boylan was an NBA head coach for like 6 years.
Right.
Jim Boylan once described an NBA play as the small forward came down and passed it to the point guard. The point guard threw it to the power forward, and he turned around and made a layup on TV as an analyst.
Yeah,
he don't know what he's talking about. So to me, when I look at former exec, when I look at what these guys are going out and being critical on, it's because they wouldn't have made the move. That's why they are not in the league. Here's the main thing that I look at with what Ryan Poles did. To me, it's like Joel said. I think he made a great point. He followed his plan. Ryan Poles has set this plan out. He has not said that this plan is going to change. He has not deviated from this plan. He has been all about, and here's the thing that I think Bears fans should take seriously here. He's been all about helping Justin Fields. Remember that beginning where y'all were like, does he really want Justin Fields? Is he really invested in Justin Fields? Does he really believe that he's not going to be? Of course he's invested in Justin Fields, because making Justin Fields work is the biggest thing that he could accomplish as a GM. He could be the one, even though he did not draft him, to give Justin Fields, or to give Chicago a quarterback. He could be the one that put the staff in place that gives Chicago a quarterback. And so to me, I think that he's heavily invested, and he finally did something that wasn't the Chicago thing to do. You had a dominant 3 technique sitting on the board at 9, and we didn't take him. For the first time ever, the Chicago Bears are thinking offense first. Welcome to 2023.
The thing is, like, what I love is that this guy has an assistant GM. They've never
was allowed to hire one.
Right. I mean, but
yeah.
The thing is that he learned, first of all, he came from a winning. Well, I would say most people, they try to come from a winning, situation, but they're really doing well in Kansas City. Like it wasn't just Pat Mahomes. They had been winning ever since Andy Reid got there, and they've been able to have a nice run. So what?
Said Matt Nagy came from there.
We talking about a GM though.
We not talking about him.
Yeah,
I'm just trolling, dog. I'm just
that was serious trolling. The whole point is that right, just Coach T. Yeah, I get it. The point is that from a GM standpoint, building from the top down, offensive identity, defensive identity, I don't think that we've really drafted for the scheme properly outside of Jerry Angelo drafting. He didn't even draft Urlacher. No. He didn't draft half the guy. What he drafted was Hester. He drafted Tillman. And Briggs. So, based off the scheme.
Tommy Harris, too. I think he got Tommy.
And Tommy Harris, yeah. They drafted Rex, but it was like, but the point was that they didn't have an
one
identity.
Good bust in a good draft.
Huh?
Got to have one bust in a good
but
draft.
I'm just saying that when you're drafting players that fit your scheme. So just like they talked about, was it Javon Dexter, right?
Yeah.
The whole point was that he was like Tommy broke down, penetrating defense versus a gap. What was a gap? What did he say? Penetrating versus
a 2-gap versus a 1-gap. So a penetrating defense versus a 2-gap system. Yeah.
Right. So Javon was really more of a 2-gap guy, and they switched the defense when he got to Florida. No, he had enough talent to do okay or whatever.
He was a penetrating guy, and shout out to him. He was a 1-gap guy, and then they turned him into a 2-gap guy halfway through.
Exactly. So the whole point is that he didn't fit the system. So if we're now getting a guy that can naturally play his natural position, even Tommy said that that wasn't my skill set to play this certain role. And he got drafted to go to because they played that in college. Yep. So the whole point is like not just drafting a guy and throw him, even the quarterback, like everybody that you pick plays the role that hopefully we keep for the next 5-10 years.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that's the biggest thing is that, like you said, Ryan Poles, I feel like shout out Coach T. I feel like Ryan Poles is
we all prefer
I love this chat.
Could be the reverse. Could be the reverse.
Whatever you're into. Whatever you're into, baby. Whatever you're into.
Whatever you love, dog.
I think that the thing, like you said, that's really big is that if I see how everybody fits. I see how Tyler Scott fits. I see how Roschon Johnson fits. I see how Darnell Wright fits. I see how Javon Dexter fits. Zach Pickens fits. Zach Pickens is either going to be a 3 or your 1.
Right.
Yep. I see how these guys fit into the system, how they fit into the scheme. And so to me, I'm not saying I don't think that everybody in this draft is going to pan out. I just don't. Somebody's got to not pan out, right? Like based on the odds, somebody's got to not pan out.
Probably the later rounds. I think
probably. But I can see how every one of them fits.
Hey, we going to get a tax?
Hey. Welcome back.
I'm just asking, Joe, because it's
yeah. Hey, he said, bring Breeze after dark back.
Yo.
Hey, kid.
Levante, that's what I'm saying. We're trying to focus here, man.
Stop.
Anyways.
Oh man.
Why is it all? It's always like we can say the most childish stuff through the whole thing, and the smallest thing will absolutely take kid out.
That's you guys.
I wasn't prepared for it.
Hey, no.
He kept just
oh man,
digesting it. Like, I can't let it go.
And he followed it up with the most serious comment, so that let me know he was serious. He hadn't heard what we said.
Oh yeah, he did.
Oh man,
he said it's key.
You guys are nuts.
Okay, I'm good. I just have to get that one out.
Oh,
all right,
man.
be back.
Oh god.
But anyways, I think that
I'm never gonna be live on air. Well, you know what? Shaq and Chuck do it all the time. Maybe I will.
Yeah,
Here we go.
But you know what? To your point, having this scheme in place, we should be. I can't wait to see this year go, and then even next year. Like now they can just draft. Just whatever they want. I mean, it's a couple people that they're going to end up grabbing, but I would think that I would hope that the 2 defensive tackles, pan out.
Yeah,
and I think Roschon is the guy that might be the icing on the cake. I think 4 out of all these picks actually work. The other ones, what's the Cincinnati Bear? What's the receiver?
Tyler Scott.
Is he supposed to be a returner for us?
I mean, he might end up being your receiver. Real
I
talk.
think he'll start off that
You better
way.
be going straight, my boy. You better be taking the top.
I think he'll start off that way because I think he did special team in college.
He did do special teams.
Yeah.
He is Velus Jones' replacement. I know there's probably out of the 140 people in here, there's probably like 60 of them that are like, well, give Velus a chance. Velus ain't gonna get a chance. I hate to tell you.
I want you all to lean in.
I don't want to.
Because y'all give me a lot
I
of
don't
smoke.
want to.
This man trashes Velus Jones on the sly all the time. And he doesn't even do it with a he doesn't even hide it. Like at this point, he's thrown shots Velus Jones' way every show. What's your beef with Velus Jones, dog?
Bro,
He's been replaced. He's been replaced.
Stop. What you're trying to do is take the smoke off you for throwing strays at Lamar.
No, what he trying to do?
Oh, I told him, hey, listen, Hail Mary, them strays. What you
them not
talking
even-
about?
Hey, them not even strays. He's aiming.
Hey, listen, John Wick, what you talking about?
he's not even straight.
aiming him.
He's trying to hit him. But it's not. Here's the thing. Here's the thing that I always say, right? Here's the thing that I always say. He wears a Bears jersey. Prove me wrong. Shut me up. I want everybody on this team to shut me up. I want everybody to have me sitting here looking stupid on the show. Because you know what that means? If I look stupid on the show, that means that we're winning. I want to win.
Yeah.
I want a football team that's winning. That's all I realistically care about. I want a wide receiver that is a deep threat, that's going to be able to go out there and make plays all the time. Realistically, Ryan Poles drafted Velus Jones. What's his role going to be on this team?
We don't even know if Darnell Mooney is going to actually be 100% healthy. He's still tore his knee up.
Tyler Scott?
Well, they say he's already out there running. He's just he's going to be ready by training camp, basically.
Yeah, but my point is that doesn't mean he'll be himself. Like just because he got back in a year doesn't mean like that's a serious injury.
Listen, might not be, but that means that your wide receiver shakeup is then DJ Moore, Chase Claypool, Equinemius St. Brown.
Yeah.
Where's the role for Velus on that?
I would say this. I mean, Velus has to prove himself in training camp. He should, if anything, this should be great for him that he had those mess ups that he had last year. If anything, if he can learn from that, I mean, if he comes back stronger, I mean, we've seen this before. Who had fumble issues and they used to tape the ball around his arm all the time? It was it Rondé Barber? He used to fumble. Your boy, Rondé Barber. He used to Tiki Barber. Tiki Barber used to fumble all the time.
Yeah.
They were twins. I was close.
Had a 50-50 shot.
Same thing, you know.
But it's to me, right? It's like Tyler Scott to me is probably taking his place on kick return. Punt return right now is Dante Pettis. That's why you brought him back. Is he a slot receiver? Is he it's not shade. It's really just where does he fit?
Wait, Mooney hurt his ankle or his knee? I thought he hurt his
ankle.
Yeah, his ankle, I think.
Oh,
I mean, but it's the same thing that I was saying.
I mean, it's a bad injury, but he did mess up his ankle.
I thought it was his knee.
I mean, I think it's the same thing with with what I said before. I mean, the same thing with Isaiah Pacheco, right? With the Chiefs. I mean, he came in, he didn't start. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was the guy. You put him on punt return. He shows you a couple things. Then Clyde Edwards-Helaire falls out of the running back rotation. He's like, okay, well, maybe we need to start running the ball. Can he carry the torch? He showed for a couple games. He did, and by the end of the season, he's the feature back. He's the feature back. Mahomes trusts him. And he's out there scoring like he should be. So I mean, as long as Tyler Scott comes in and keeps his head down and does what he's supposed to do, I mean, maybe Joel's right. With the Mooney thing, and then maybe he does get his shot and slides in there and does what he's got to do.
He might be motivated though. Like everybody's piling on Velus. Like he has to respond to that. Like the type of resolve that hopefully we see out of this guy. Like to me, that'd be great. He failed. He didn't do great. He had some flashes, and hopefully he can learn. I mean, I would hope that he actually can learn from this. And we still got a nice, what was it, 3rd round pick last year?
Yeah.
Like we want him to do well because hopefully he's motivated to do well.
I want him to do well, but listen, here's the thing. Realistically, more times than not, that don't happen. Again, I would love to see you prove me wrong, but the comeback story is a special story for a reason. They usually don't happen. You don't give up on a guy after a year. That's nonsense.
I love this. Don't worry about this, Pat. I got it. You know what's funny about that? That's what happens all the freaking time. That's what happens all across the league with a lot. It's even elite players, or once upon a time elite players, who had one bad season, all of a sudden they're trash. Russell Wilson has gone from elite or borderline elite to bottom of the league because of one bad season. So if you don't give up on a guy after 1 year, yeah, stop it. I hear what you're saying. You shouldn't. That's not reality.
It's not realistic.
Well, we're talking
realistic.
They did that with Odell. They did that with Odell when he was in Cleveland. He get to LA, and all of a sudden he can play football again.
Here's the thing. It's not the thing is, it doesn't mean that Velus Jones will never become a good receiver in the NFL. It doesn't, right? But what it means is right now he's not the fourth best receiver in your receiver room.
But
he has to do so much to get that moniker off of him at this point.
He's got talent. To get to the NFL is not by accident, and it's clearly a focus.
Mitch
issue.
is in the league,
huh?
Mitch is in the league.
Mitch, if you put Mitch, if you got a team right now and play pickup in the backyard, he would light you up. Mitch,
yeah, me, I'm not the NFL. Like, what are we
talking
talking
easy
about?
To get in the NFL. It's a small percentage. It's still a small percentage. What they say, 5,000?
Go get a group of dudes in the backyard, not go get dudes off of the practice squad. They go cook us in the
You're going to get cooked. The whole point is that it's only like 5.
That's a comment.
What?
Robbie, go ahead and see
that's true.
Bears cut him after he shanked 3 game winners. That's a fact.
Yeah, and then he went to do well in San Francisco.
He did well somewhere else.
So that goes to tell you that, hey, the person who scored the most points on your team got cut after 3 attempts, had a bad season, and now we want to pay him to come
also
back. Well, the Bears don't. We want to.
They didn't want to. No. They also didn't want to.
They didn't want to pay him. Yeah,
that was more about money than anything.
They needed a reason. They weren't going to pay a kicker like I think he wanted $8 million or $9 million.
It was more about the money than
you weren't going to pay a kicker $9 million.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: I don't have an issue with that. The problem that I have is, hey, you got to replace that guy.
I like what Levante is saying. Velus will be the next Tariq. I mean, hey, he might be that gadget guy. Maybe he's the Debo that everybody that we want.
You mean the next guy?
Absolutely not. Debo is.
Well,
Debo's a talent.
Maybe. Here's what I say: show me, because your rookie year looked off when you're 30 years old. He's not. He's like 25, but still.
Dad, you go at the age. It's not 40 no more. It's not 40 no more.
I mean, he ain't did nothing bad in the last 4 weeks.
Y'all can't say that at my age. So I mean, why would he not do that to Velus? So
hey, listen. I
this
mean,
man has a heart.
His rookie year, he was as old as Joel out here. You know what I mean?
Hey man, real quick. You know how I knew Joe's old? So like I'm pulling up the Joe's crib for the draft you did, right? And then my pops had like this old song on. And Joe came outside. My dad was like, man, what you know about that? He's like, I know about that. I was like, nah, ain't no way. Hey,
Joe is the middle
child. Baby, it ain't nothing but the rent out here.
Hey, legit. That's what it was.
Hey. Joe is the middle child of generations here. He's like big bro and little bro all at once.
He's J. Cole.
So many different aspects.
Hey, I'm like, nah, dog. Hey,
with less hair. He's J. Cole with less.
I say this though. If we're having this conversation as to whether Velus Jones is on the roster or not, that means Poles did well.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day,
because we were talking about him being a potential number 1 last year.
Like, come on, like we've done well, and so I think that's a perfect way and perfect antidote to end the show on, because we now have confidence and faith that we're gonna have a good season. Like, and that's saying a lot. From the stuff that we've been through. So.
I look at a
good season based on our standards.
If I compare Poles to Angelo to Pace, and Emery was just, I don't know.
Emery was an idiot.
He was just doing whatever.
Emery was an idiot.
Angelo,
you can say that safely.
Yes.
Okay.
I bet you he's one of those former GMs that don't like the moves. Hey, look. Hey.
I look at because to me, Pace. I like that Pace would gamble to a degree to get the guy. Like Angelo wouldn't do that. I just remember when we had. I want to say we had the 4th pick and traded down because they didn't want to take they didn't believe in Terrell Suggs. They didn't think he was a special player. And it was like, why not go for that? But I think it ended up being Michael Haynes and Grossman that year. And which was like trash. Like
I feel like we took Grossman high.
no, they were like 14 and like
Was he?
21 or something like
gross.
that. Because Pittsburgh
gross,
had
man.
2 picks too. Pittsburgh took Palomalu and someone else in that same draft.
Yeah, that's right. We missed on a lot of Hall of Fame.
Yeah, we missed on the Hall of Fame. Like the scouting department, yeah. So I think that maybe we finally get a competent scouting, scouting department with the GM who's disciplined and sticks to his guns. So it's like maybe we're getting the best, And the fact is that the man got a 4th round pick and traded down 1 spot and still got the guy he wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, he wanted Darnell Wright. They'd have took Darnell Wright at 9. They would have took Darnell Wright at 9. They were never going to take Jalen Carter.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
They identified what they wanted. They wanted to do something for the offensive line. They did it.
Yep.
So you got a 4th round pick, and you got the guy you were gonna take regardless of it. So, hey man, appreciate you guys for showing love as always. Make sure that you hit that like button, subscribe to the page if you have not done so. Leave a 5-star review on the podcast side, man. Y'all already know how we get down out here. For the super producer Joel Holt, Stefan Adon, and the pettiest man alive, Mr. P Kid. I'm your boy Pat the Designer, back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Peace.
Remember, in the gap, penetration is key.
Wild.
It's key.